Hello and welcome back. Our next task is going to be to display a whole bunch of photos on the home page. And to do that, we're just going to take an array, and each item in the array is going to have a URL to a photo on a website, and we'll just iterate through the array, and we'll get hold of the photos in the URLs, and we'll display them on the screen. So in order to do that, I'd like to recap on JavaScript arrays. So if I go back to a much earlier lesson, we had this file here, and in fact, if I just click this little button, I can split it and I can display it at the top of the screen and also at the bottom. So that will allow me to show you the top of the file here, where I've declared an array called numbers1, and it contains 5 numbers, 10, 20, 30, and so on. Then if I just zip down to the bottom of this same file, I have declared a function called square, and it takes a single parameter, which is expected to be a number in this case, and it's going to return the square of the number. So I've then taken the numbers1 array and called map on that array. So what map does is it takes an array, in our case numbers1, and a single parameter, square. So map is going to apply this function, square, to each item in the numbers1 array. And then it'll return a new array with the results. So we should see S1 is an array that contains the square of 10, then the square of 20, and the square of 30, and so on. And this turns out to be phenomenally useful when we want to display arrays in React. So let's just have a quick look at doing that. So I'm going to start off just with an incredibly simple array of strings. I'll just create it up here. And now let's say I want to display that array. I can, of course, just put colors in here, which will display the word colors there. And if I put curly braces around it, that means I want to evaluate this as a JavaScript expression. So it will now evaluate colors. It'll say, oh, I see, that's this array here. And this is a JSX. So this is being processed by the React preprocessor. And when it comes across an array, well, let's see what happens. It literally takes each item in the array and it displays it, we say renders it on the screen. It does no real treatment at all. It prints out red, and it prints out orange, and it prints out yellow. It's just a whole bunch of strings, one after the other. Now let's say we wanted to display them one after the other. What we actually want is something like this. We want div red, and then we want div orange, and so on and so on. That's what we want to produce. So we can use that map function. I can say colors.map and then pass it a transformer. And let's just create that transformer function. I'll say function transformer. It's going to take a color and it's going to return, let's say a div, and then inside the div, the color that was passed. And let's say color is a string. And because it's essentially a JavaScript expression, I'll put the color in there like that. Okay, so now all I've got to do is print that. So let's say I assign that to an array like this. And then instead of printing colors here, I'll print the array. And there we go. We can see, if I actually look at this in the elements, we can see we've got a div, and within it, come down eventually. There we are, div red, div orange, div yellow, exactly what we were hoping for. But, so that's good. Now, the next thing I really would like to do, if I come back to the console over here, we can see that we're getting this error message. Each child in a list should have a unique key prop. So this is a rule in React that whenever you ask React to render an array of items, you'll always get this error message unless each item in the array has got a key prop. So we can do that easy enough. In our transformer function up here, map will always pass two things to the transformer function. It will pass the array item, which in our case is red, orange, yellow, but it'll always pass a second item, which is the index in the array, which is a number. So map will call transformer with red and an index of 0, and then orange with an index of 1, and so on. And we can use this. We can say key equals index like this, and this will provide React with each item in the array will have a property key which has got a unique number. So here we say each item in the list should have a unique key prop. So this will satisfy React. And if I now clear the error messages and redisplay this page, we'll see the error message has gone away. And we could add some styling to this. So I won't go into this in any detail, but you might like this. If I put some styling in, we can actually see that each one is occupying the entire width of the screen. So there endeth the transformer tutorial. And we'll now actually get on with displaying our photos. So I'm going to create a new folder in source called data. And into there, I'm just going to copy and paste a file of photos that I've already prepared. Paste. There we go. And you can see our photos file contains a type, photo data, which just defines the type of each item in the array. And this photos is actually of type photo data array, like that. And we can see here's one item in the array. It's an object, and it has an ID, a title, a description. Small is the URL to the picture, is a small image. You can see here it says width 600. And large is the same image, but with a width of 2200 pixels. So that's our task, to display these photos. So let's just change these, get rid of these colors now. And we'll say this is our photos, which I can import here. Import photos. And again, I'm going to call transformer. And this time, it's going to be a photo. And it's of type photo data, which again needs importing. And I'll get rid of this style now. And I will print the photo, let's just say the title to start with. And there we go. This is our photo titles, Where Mountains Breathe. If we go back to our, you can see here, this is the first title, Where Mountains Breathe, Light Upon the Valley, and so on. So we can actually do it a little better than that. Rather than displaying the photo title here, let's just fish that out and say what we really want here. Just put some parentheses around this, is I really want to print the image, an image, and inside the image will be the photo, the small version of the photo, and we'll have as, oh, this is just text, if it fails, will be the title. And if we change it to that, you can see immediately. So I'm going to swap from the console to elements, and you can see if I select an element here and highlight each one, you can see each one is 600 wide, 600 by 400, 600. This one's 600 by 900. So let me just put this away. But you can see they're all the same width because that's how they've been supplied. But if I, let's get rid of this. If I expand it, they're occupying 600, but if I make it narrower, they will actually squeeze and fit within, and that's actually all the images there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5, it seems. I thought I had 6, but there we are. Oh, there we are, 6 down there. So there's my 6 images. So as you can see, they're all stuck right next to each other. They're not really haven't been styled in any way. They're just their native width. And so I'll bring this lesson to a close, and in the next lesson we'll set about styling them.